Did you want to open the video?
Oh, okay. Hi. So last year, Amber made me a TBR of 6 books, which I was supposed to read by the end of 2020, but then, you know, stuff happened and that, yeah, I failed miserably. But it's now like May 2021 and only 5 months overdue. I've finished all 6 books, kind of. And this is the wrap-up video. Is it called a wrap-up?
Yeah, it's the wrap-up.
This is the wrap-up video. Oh, this is Books of Amber, by the way, in case you didn't know.
So this is the order that Quill thought he would enjoy them in. So he thought that he'd like The City of Brass the most, and then Codename Verity the least. Why did you think that?
From what I recall, I felt like I had to put The City of Brass at the top.
Yeah.
In case you left me.
Yeah.
But also, City of Brass is like epic fantasy, which tends to be my like go-to genre. And Codename Verity, I don't really remember. I think just because it was like historical war fiction, which I don't read a whole lot of. But
was it because it was YA?
Yeah, my.
Do you have YA bias?
I might have had a slight YA bias, yeah, maybe.
And then, do you want to put them in the order of how you actually enjoyed them? Okay, so you were a bit off.
Just a little bit. I got the grown up right.
You did get the grown up right.
Yeah.
Becky Chambers was only 1 off.
Yeah, I was close with Becky Chambers.
You liked this one the most?
Oh my god, yes. It was
Do you want to say why?
It was so good. Like, there was this really cool atmosphere of suspense and fear throughout the whole thing. The setting, like the whole spooky mansion in the woods, was great and like really pulled me in. The fact that you know something like a little like, I don't know, supernatural or like not entirely normal is going on just adds this whole element to it, because like nothing is understood, nothing is known. Yeah, like I got really, really into the murder mystery aspect of it. It was like a genuinely like tense book and really well written. Bucky, stop it! And really well written. I don't know if I can do spoilers.
No, you can't do spoilers.
Okay, I can't do spoilers, but like the threat of who the main character can trust, including himself, was...
That should be the tagline on the back of the book.
was really, really, like, yeah, I just loved it. So I think as a standalone book, this is my favourite.
Okay, how many stars?
5.
So you'd say it's a good recommendation?
Yeah, definitely. Second was City of Brass, which still one of Amber's favourite book series ever.
I will allow it in second place.
So I said Seven Deaths of Evelyn Harcourt was a favourite as a standalone book because I've recently read the sequel, Kingdom of Copper. I'm so invested.
You are.
City of Brass didn't get me quite as much. I'd have said City of Brass was like maybe like 4.5 stars. But then I read Kingdom of Copper and like I was crying like at least a couple of places. During Kingdom of Copper, it really built on what I liked about City of Brass, sort of like the internal politics and like the city, sort of the warring allegiances, which I think probably has made me look back on this book more favourably now. Just lays the groundwork for a lot of stuff in the second book as well. One of like my favourite fantasy worlds now as well. It's just like so brilliantly realised and there's so much detail and like so much is like in it without it getting bogged down in lots of exposition and world building. But it still does that, but it doesn't interrupt the flow of the story. What I really like this. Wasn't such a fan of like the first bit where they were all travelling to like this fantasy city or whatever. Like when they got there, like it really picked up and I really enjoyed it. Also, Ali is bae.
Is bae.
Is bae.
You get so many likes because of that. Maybe I should hold them instead.
Okay.
It's such a good book to you there.
Third was Codename Verity, my new favourite World War II book about like obvious lesbians.
Can you confirm?
It's all told in sort of like diary format, which I was a bit like, you know, if you're writing a diary, these characters go into like quite a lot of detail that like you don't actually get in diary writing, but it's like quite well justified. They really bring out the characters' like personalities and stuff in it. The mystery of like what's happened and whether the characters are going to make it out alive, and kind of like the tension about who knows what. The way it's presented in the books is like really clever. The twists are also really good. Also, the 2 characters, Maddie and Queenie, are like absolutely adorable. Again, the ending on this one also had me crying quite a lot. Yeah, it was like a really good representation of like characters who are thrust into this situation, probably like a lot of people were during the war, and like really sort of like rise to it while still like portraying them as like vulnerable and human. And yeah, it just struck a really, really good balance.
Star rating, you didn't
say?
Star
rating, ooh, also 5.
So you enjoyed that more?
Well, no, but like...
So your order was wrong.
No, but like, wait, is star rating the same as enjoyment?
It depends on how you rate things, really. It's all very personal.
Like, I enjoyed this more, but
yeah.
I think this is kind of like a better written book. I don't know.
Well, that's okay then.
Like,
so if you're happy with that ranking.
Not that is bad, yeah.
It's okay, you don't have to defend yourself.
I feel like I do. Yeah.
I was just a bit worried that you were lying.
Okay, then fourth is Caught with Fortunate by Becky Chambers.
You read this one first, I think, didn't you?
Yeah, I think I did read this one first. It seemed like the easiest, you know, nice and small. This was just really nice. More on the sciencey side of science fiction rather than her other books. And still very like, in that Becky Chambers style, like it's a very like optimistic take on sci-fi, which is refreshing because a lot of sci-fi isn't, like, or is quite grim at the moment, at least I think. Like the big sci-fi
I think
series.
it depends on who you pick up. Like
Maybe.
Andy Weir's new one, which we just read, was very grim.
Okay. Yeah, I enjoyed this. It was really easy to read. It's a very sort of like focused book. It's got like one message or point that it really wants to drive home, and it does that really well. And it doesn't overstay its welcome. Really nice. I think I finished this in like 1, maybe 2 nights. It just left me with like a bit of a warm, fuzzy, thoughtful feeling after. So if you want something
like most of her books.
yeah, if you want something that's just gonna like make you, I guess, think about like where we as a species are like going, I suppose, then it's good. Grown Up, Gillian Flynn.
Gillian Flynn, I think.
Gillian Flynn. Anyway, The Grown Up by Gillian Flynn, the author of Gunna Girl, was also, like a really easy read. I did read this in one night. I didn't realise it was quite so short. Again, it was nice, like contained thriller story.
I was going to say nice wouldn't really be the way that I described
nice.
it.
It was a good, quite contained thriller story. Bucky?
I don't know what that was.
I don't know.
Were you creeped out, like I said you would be? Or was it not as creepy as you were expecting?
No, not that much really.
Okay.
Like, I think I don't care about the character enough to care if she dies.
I just find
Like,
children
I think-
quite creepy, so.
Right, okay. I don't find children creepy, ladies.
Oh my god.
It was a good story, well told. Didn't really care about the character that much, but you've only got like 80 something pages to get to know them. It was fun. Like, I'm still not really that into thrillers, but this one didn't take up too
I
much time.
disagree.
That's
It's
different.
still a thriller, it's definitely a
fine.
thriller.
I guess I'm not that much into this kind of thriller. I would say, I don't know, 3.5 stars.
Would you want to check out Gone Girl or her other books? Or are you not too interested?
I don't know, I might want to check out Gone Girl just because it seems to be the one like everyone knows, everyone talks about.
Yeah.
So I guess if I am going to get more into thrillers, which seems to be Emma's goal, then...
And then the last one is one that you didn't actually finish. We were well off with this
Yeah,
one.
so I dumped this.
I partly blame myself because I told him that I didn't enjoy The Burning God, and then he was kind of like, well, what's the point of me reading The Poppy War then?
Basically, my experience of reading this book was it started off so strong. It's fantasy, but it's got like a strong kind of historical setting, a whole sort of like dark, warring drama angle to it. I'm a massive Joe Abercrombie fan, so it sounded like it'd be right up my alley. The first bit, before Rin gets to this like military academy that she goes to, I was like really, really into it. I was like, you know, she has to work to like pass her exams or whatever to get to the school, to work to escape her background. I was really like invested in her success because it was made really clear that she had to like work for it. There wasn't any like chosen one, secret power stuff. It was just very much, you know, a determined individual trying to like be better than the circumstance of their birth in a really like cool setting that obviously had a lot of like tension and background and conflict to it. And so I was fully on board. She gets to the school and you've still got all that stuff going on. And I actually really enjoyed the school bit, even when it turns out she can like call on some magic mystic power, because then again, she's still got to like learn to harness that power and everything, and it's all felt earned. I was quite keen to find out more about this world, how she was going to affect like the empire that the whole thing's set in. And then the battle happens. I hope that's not a spoiler.
No, it's midway through.
Okay, midway through, a battle happens. The entire thing just suddenly changes pace. Like, I genuinely felt like this was supposed to be like the end of the book, and it just kind of like came out of nowhere. And then this big like pivotal encounter felt like it should have just been the prologue of another book, or should have been the finale of this one. And then everything changed and my favourite character just disappeared. I was just a bit like, what the hell? And it was over in the space of 5 pages, and like some big bad guy shows up and then dies like in the space of 2 pages. Maybe he comes back later, I don't know, because from there it very quickly trailed off. It turns out, oh, she actually is special, and actually none of like all that hard work she's done seems to matter anymore because she's got special powers. So now she's going to go and be in this like squad of wizards. That like her circumstances completely change, and it seems to have nothing to do with anything. None of the like relationships she's been building up seem to matter.
You know, hearing you talk about this one is pretty much how I felt about The Burning God, so maybe I should have realised.
Everything that I like about this book, they just sort of dropped. And then Amber tells me that The Burning God is apparently a hot mess. And
I'll link my review above.
it just totally killed any interest I had in this. And I'm really, really disappointed because I really wanted to like this book and I really thought I would. And it started off so well and then it just degraded into like what felt like every other like stereotypical chosen one fantasy story.
It's okay.
I just really don't like your book. I'm sorry.
Thankfully she won't be watching this video.
You don't know that.
I'm pretty sure. So that was the final rank. Oh yeah, did you give that a star or are you just going not?
Oh, I
not
don't
give a
really
star
feel
rating
like I
to your
can
dimps?
fairly. I don't really feel like I can fairly rate it if I don't finish it. So
That's good. A lot of
that's just a
people
dimp.
Just a dimp.
A dimp.
So that was the final rating. Would you say I give good recommendations?
Mostly.
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 The majority of these you loved.
Yeah, the majority.
Yeah.
The slim majority. Only 4 out of 6.
Okay, well in that case we're going to do in part 2 next month.
Which I promise I will read faster this time.
Maybe don't make such promises. To be fair, we're not going to be moving house.
Yeah, exactly.
So
that'll save us
you might be
3
able to
months.
do it. We'll be back next month. I'll be back before
how much
then.
faith you have in me.
Always. So we'll be back next month. I'll be back before then and I'll be choosing Quill's 6 books. Should we go with 6 again?
Yeah, I can manage 6.
Okay. That's what you said last time.
Yeah, but this time I mean it.
So thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed Quill's cameo on Booktube.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy your time here?
I've loved my time with Booktube. Thank you, everybody.
I'll be back with another video. Bye.
Bye.